At an early age too, you know what I mean? So I would have liked to see him wait just a little bit longer, get a couple more fights in. But sometimes when the money calls, the fight has to happen. The money calls, the fight got to happen. So
come June 27th, I will claim why I'm the best 154-pounder in the world.
Boots is this future superstar. He beat this guy and that guy and that guy.
Improved on under you over the years that can make him the best version of Kevin Newman.
The IQ. The IQ has risen tremendously since I've had it. So the IQ is the biggest thing. The thing we've been working on most is to put the mindset with the IQ.
Roy Jones Jr. just said something that nobody expected. One of the greatest fighters to ever lace up a pair of gloves looked straight into the camera and said this about Jaron Boots Ennis.
Nice, right? Nice. Over and under, right there. Over and under with that same hand, right there. Yeah, turn it. Turn your hip with it. Do it again. Go take that hip with it. That's it. Do it again. Come back with the hook. Nice, nice, nice.
And the boxing world has not stopped talking since. Stay right here, because by the end of this video, everything you thought you knew about this fight is going to change.
Smart enough, he understands enough, he has a good enough foundation to do anything necessary at the time that it calls for it. So if it calls for throwing a leap in the hook, he can do that. If it calls for throwing an overhand right, he can do that. If it calls for putting his hands down and setting you up to hit you, he can do that. That's what the great ones like myself were able to do. We're able to adapt on the spot. And
Roy Jones Jr. did not hold back, comparing Jaron Boots Ennis directly to himself in his prime. Calling him fundamentally sound, adaptable, and likening his ability to change styles mid-fight to Terrence Crawford. When asked if Zayas could beat him, Roy said if anybody can, it is him, but immediately followed that with a warning, saying,
well, if anybody can, it'd be him, but that's a hell of a task he's taking on at an early age too, you know what I mean? So I would have liked to see him wait just a little bit longer, get a couple more fights in, but sometimes when the money calls, the fight has to happen. The money calls, the fight got to happen, so it's what it is.
Jaron Ennis, Tim Bradley, fellow Hall of Famer like you, breaks down the fights like you. He said that Jaron relies on his athleticism too much.
He would have preferred Xander to get a couple more fights in first. He called this a hell of a challenge for a young fighter, and then delivered the line that said, everything, when the money calls, the fight has to happen. So the question remains, is this the right moment for Xander Zayas, or is even Roy Jones Jr. quietly concerned it may be too soon?
Win would mean.
Really, to be honest with you, if he wanted to, if his mind is right, he could dominate the 168 division. He's got the fastest hands. He's actually the most talented, most gifted, and with a plan, if he gets his mind right, he could dominate this division easy.
Now, before we get deeper into this, you need to understand just how big this fight actually is. Because when Xander Zayas himself sat down and opened up about why he took this fight, what he said was absolutely fire.
I wasn't born to be average. I was born to make history. I was born to keep writing history.
At just 23 years old, unified champion Xander Zayas made one thing crystal clear. He was not born to be average, he was born to make history. He called this the biggest fight of 2026 and had every reason to take an easier route, but chose Boots Ennis because he believes to be the best, you must beat the best. He went further by exposing what he sees as Boots' weakness, that Ennis eats straight punches and hooks and has never truly been made uncomfortable. Zayas also made a point analysts are overlooking. He is just as tall, just as athletic, and just as composed as Boots. This is not a mismatch, this is an even war, and on June 27th at the Barclays Center, Boots Ennis is going to feel something he has never experienced before.
Boots has just looked more special athletically to me than Xander throughout their careers, right? On the other hand, When you said Xander got better, Xander was so precocious. He was such a young fighter when we first saw him.
The Inside the Ring panel got heated debating this matchup.
If I had to pick, I would give Boots the edge. All right, guy that's a little twitchier, a little more athletic, hits hard, switch hitter.
Shady McCoy favored Boots due to his athleticism and switch hitting ability.
I think in his last performance in Puerto Rico, he showed that boxing ability.
Box.
Nice jab, nice movement, good stamina, endurance.
While Gabe Rosado fired back by pointing out that Zayas walks around at 190 pounds. This is no small man stepping up. This is a fully grown champion ready for war.
A lot of credit to Xander Zayas. You know, Xander Zayas, young guy, he wanted this fight, he called for the fight, and he made it happen quick.
Mike Kopinger summed it up perfectly. Two undefeated stars, no excuses, no politics, just the two best fighters in the division, settling it once and for all.
Boots is close to that. Boots is definitely close to that. Maybe one flaw that I see is that sometimes defensively he can be careless.
Already 23 years old, he's already a unified champion, and I like that about him. You know, he's not afraid to get his feet wet in this division. So
Hall of Famer Abner Mares believes Boots Ennis is close to a perfect fighter, but warns that his occasional defensive carelessness could be exploited, and that taking this fight too soon could permanently damage Zayas the way a premature matchup once derailed Fernando Vargas. A boxing insider disagreed, picking Xander based on his footwork and underrated power. Believing he can neutralize everything Boots brings. The bottom line, Roy Jones thinks it may be too soon for Xander. Xander believes he is about to shock the world, and the experts cannot agree. On June 27th at the Barclays Center, only one man gets the answer. Drop your pick in the comments and subscribe to Boxing Channel so you do not miss the Fight Week breakdown.